I'm very glad to be here today, and because we have a lot of information for the organic farmers. I'm so glad because of the papers presented by Dr. Nadia of FAO, and that the information which she provided is going to completely correlate with the data I'm providing here on Muscadine. And actually this research project was established by USDA and NRCS in 1989. It was not only for the US, it was for the entire world, but first we were working on for the US. But gradually it became international, and we get emails from all over the world. We are providing information to several research organizations and universities all over the world, because we are the only people who have done this work on 36 horticulture crops. How horticulture crops can be utilized effectively for erosion prediction, nutrient management, conservation planning, and to prevent soil erosion. Now, everybody is talking about climate change. That is how we get more emails. Because if you look at the organic crops, the horticulture crops and agronomic crops are few in number, but they cover most of the cultivated area in the world because they provide the most important food item, carbohydrates. Then oil, then fat, then the fiber. Now we are looking for fuel. If you look at the horticulture crops, for antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins, and also they provide proteins through beans. But if you look at them, the C/N ratio, the paper presented from Copenhagen, Denmark, mentioned about the C/N ratio, it is coming up here. If you look at the C/N ratio of a crop, that shows the crop is going to be a soil conserving crop or a soil depleting crop. If you look at agronomic crops, most of the agronomic crops are soil conserving crops. But most of the horticulture crops are soil depleting crops, except few like sweet corn. But corn is an agronomic crop. Sweet corn is an horticulture crop. Those are some differences there. So this is one of the reasons why USDA established this program, and they in NRCS alone invested more than $3 million, and we got funds from so many other sources, more than $5 million US. This is one of the greatest contributions of the US for the world community of horticulturists and conservationists. It's a great program going on, and we have a lot of information, and that's why I said I'm very glad to be here. This is the first time I'm presenting for the organic farmers. We have a lot of information about the residue, how much residue each crop returns from the preceding crop to the succeeding crop, how fast they decompose, whether it is subsurface or surface application, how much nitrogen they returns, at what time it is available to the succeeding crop. So that is not applied in the organic here. It's not applied in many places. If you look at conservationists, they have done a lot of work. The agronomy people, they have done a lot of work. But in the horticulture side, the work is not done. It's not mentioned nowhere. So that is one of the areas horticulturists have to get into, otherwise the problem will continue to be a problem. If the ocean level is rising at the rate of 1 centimeter per year. After 100 years, when our great-grandchildren will come, it will be another 100 centimeters. Places like Biloxi, cities and beaches will disappear. And we throw away things in the garbage, go to the landfill, and it comes back to us in liquid form or solid form or gaseous form. And we have a lot of problems. And I'm not going through all the problems. You know many of the problems. I'm not going to scare you, because when some of the information which I am providing here, you may get scared because that much pollution. Because we, after the discovery of chemical fertilizers after 1930s, we have been applying chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides, weedicides, nematicides, fungicides, all kinds of chemicals. We totally forgot about our great-grandchildren. They will come after 100 years. When they come, none of us will be alive. And they will come to know that their grandparents were agriculturists. They left the world. And they will never ever forgive us. We have done that much damage to the system. The nitrate, it was first discovered in Eastern Europe, killing children. Now, anybody thinks that you are healthy, you are not healthy. Nobody is healthy here. That is the situation. That is the situation. The FAO banned the DDT long ago, in 1970s. But still Africa is buying, because they don't have money to buy pesticides, to spray against mosquitoes, malaria. 1.7 million people get killed there. And it has long residual effects. It comes in different forms. And drinking water, and we have a problem here. Everybody is carrying bottled water. And we are even importing water from other countries. That is the situation now. Almost 44 to 45,000 ladies get killed because of breast cancer, almost 500,000 people get killed in this country alone because of cancer. It's more than the total number of US Army got killed in the Second World War. And look at just like taking drugs, once we take the drugs, it is in the body. Like the plants, the system goes to the plants. It never disappears. And EPA banned this, but still, you see, it is in the ecology system. It is the system of the plants, because these are perennial crops. These are not annuals. And the solution is organic farming and nutrient management. Not just organic farming, the nutrient management. That is the paper from Copenhagen gave a lot of information about some of the crops, but we have a lot of information on 36 crops. The US, it is the fastest growing sector, 20% growth per year. People used to ask me, what is organic? Why there are so many complicated rules? I told them, ask your grandparents if they were born before 1930s. They know the real organic, the one they practiced before the discovery of chemical fertilizers. And nutrient management, that is the amount, how much we are applying. Because even for the manure, the dairy manure contains more nitrogen than the beef cattle. The source from where? Then the placement. Is it surface or subsurface? In what form? In solid form or liquid form or any form? Then the timing and what time it is applied. The first dose or basal dose or second dose. All these have to be considered. So the reference is there. You can see it's a book. It's very nice. It has a lot of information about managing these systems. And this is going to be the website. I'm not going through all the tables because short of time. And the pine straw is one of the residues I'm showing. The greatest gift of God is soil. Everybody knows. Without soil, no plants. If no plants, no animals, no birds, no insects, no microbes, no human beings. Everything depends upon soil. And that soil gives two wastes, the animal waste and the plant waste. These are the two major ingredients in organic, which our great-grandparents have been using. It had been used in this country even before 1930s. But after the discovery of fertilizers, what happened? We throw away. This is the data published by EPA. So people asked the question here yesterday, day for yesterday, how we can bring down the price of organic produce. Why they brought down in other countries? Because they use the plant waste. The nature works so hard in the cool spring, the hot summer, and the cold winter, and produce this, but we just throw away. It contains all nutrients. If we can use this with the animal waste, and we have more animal waste than any other countries because Americans consume more meat than people of any other country in the world. Before establishing fast food restaurants in China, India, and many countries, US had almost 1.5 billion tons of animal waste. Now after establishing, we are sending the egg, meat, and milk, and the whole waste is on our shoulder here. So now it is almost 2 billion tons animal waste here, but it is not used. And if you look at the plant residue, here comes the nitrogen and carbon. I'm not going to go into explain the whole thing because there's a lot of information there. You can contact, and the benefits of mulching, a lot of benefits. Mulching has a lot of benefits. The water harvesting comes when you go to the sub-Sahara region, instead of the Sahara, rainfall is less than 5 inches. When you go there, you can see they are producing sorghum and millet, excellent crop, and they do the water harvesting by mulching. These are some of the information, and the fourth line, if no mulch is applied with the nitrogen fertilizer, that is for blueberries. The blueberry, cranberry, bilberry, they are sisters. They need mulching, they need the soil acid soil. So pine needle is one of the best ingredients. And if you look at the residue, the carbon ratio, and the muscadine, I put it there. We have a table like this. The entire data is published by the American Society for Horticultural Science. They are podcasting 24 hours. It is permanently there. You can get the information from there. And it is also with the International Society for Horticultural Science, Belgium. And this is just one table I am showing, because you can contact Alcon for this information, or you can contact the National Soil Erosion Research Lab, Purdue University, Indiana. They have all the information, and also with the National Plant Data Center Baton Rouge. Animal manure. This is what we are not using. We are afraid. The present generation is totally afraid. I used to bring them and show them. I asked them. They are afraid to touch even. One of my students, even he collapsed when we was working on the field. He was working on the field. We saw he was flat on the ground. He cannot even smell the manure. Yeah, it happens. So how much nitrogen? The phosphorus standard basis. So when we analyze the nitrogen phosphorus ratio has to be looked into. Then benefits of manure, like the mulch. This also improves a lot of, but the only thing, it has to be applied very carefully. The USDA and the Organic Federation has released excellent rules for that. If the manure is touching the ground, if the edible portion is touching the ground, you have to apply the manure 120 days before the harvest. And if the edible portion is not touching the ground, you can apply the manure 90 days before the final harvest. The objective of this paper, which I am presenting here today, is the biomass development and soil physico-chemical changes. And that is the portion mentioned by Dr. Nadia from FAO. You can see the entire data is going to correlate with what she said here. And this is a regulation, the federal regulation passed in December 21st, 2001. Actually, I started this work in 2000. I am originally from India. So India has more cattle population than any other country in the world because most Indians don't eat cow meats. And India is #1 in milk production. The major source of plant nutrients in India is from cow manure. So I just started in 2000. So later on the regulation came, I was really worried. So then that became the first research. 11 years now, this work I am doing for 11 years. This is the soil. You can see the parent material. Even after 40 feet deep, you won't find the parent material. It is a highly erosive crop. And it's an important erosive soil. It's an important soil here in the US. You can see it accounts for 13.9% of the land area. But if it is flat, in flat land, you cannot raise blueberries, no way. But we have succeeded with the USDA. We applied manures in different crops. Only blueberry, we could increase the anthocyanins by applying worm castings. But in this muscadine, we could not do, and we tried, but nothing raised. Only the yield has gone high. If you look at the clay and silt, 93% makes a heavy soil with high water holding capacity. And even watermelon, even the muscadine cannot be grown in this area. Whenever there is a heavy rain, the water lodges there because the holding capacity is very high. But we succeed, if you can succeed, because if you apply the nitrogen cycle, which we have been studying since primary school, look at the animal waste and the plant waste. And that one, if it is applied very effectively, it will work. You can see there. The parameters we covered in this area, the soil moisture, there are so many parameters we covered. Only few are significant. Whatever is significant, I am presenting here. And there's a food technologist, agronomist, pomologist, and soil physicist in this program. And the food technologist analyzed for vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And this is the old traditional spacing at 20 by 20. We can have 108 plants in 1 acre of land. And the latest spacing recommended is 15 by 20. Plant to plant distance 20 feet, row to row distance 15 feet. You can have 145 plants per acre. So if it is the traditional method, the one we are doing, we can have 10,000 pounds of muscadine per acre. Walmart, the cheapest grocery store, is selling now $3.98 per pound. Not per pound, 1.2 pound, 1.3 pounds. This is one of the most expensive fruits in this region, the southeast region. And after it was discovered that it has an antioxidant, it can prevent breast cancer. And the pine straw here, you see, the pine straw has the capacity even to control fusarium wilt in some crops. But it's not coming here, especially in vegetables. If you look at the element in nitrogen here, the CN ratio of pine needle is very high. If it is above 30, it decomposes fast. It has gone down to 29, 28, 27, 26. When it comes down to 20, then it decomposes fast because carbon is the food of microbes. When the microbes die, then the nitrogen is released. But if you look at the CN ratio of a crop, you can tell it is going to be a good mulch. It is going to be a soil conserving crop, a soil conserving mulch. And these are nutrients of cow manure, and you know what we do, I'll show you. This is the project. It was established by USDA in 1989. It was mainly for conservation, not for organic. So, but the information is highly useful for organic farmers. You don't have to do the research again. We are already done. You can get it. So this one we actually started in 2000. I just started 2000 before the regulation came. This is our Muscadine Vineyard. And you know, first I was applying NPK. We planted this in 93, 94. and for 5 years continuously, it was NPK. And after 5 years, the Muscadine come into full production. And we dry the manure. That is the same system we do in India too. So that will take out some extra nitrogen from outside, from the manure. Then you make a basin. This is the most important thing you have to do it. Not surface application. Don't apply surface on the vineyard or orchard. It will pollute the system. So just make a basin. You can make the size later. We have been increasing the size year after year. So in the initial time, do it like this. Put the manure, and over the manure apply nitrogen. According to Cornell University and one of the universities in Canada, application of lime over the manure kills bacteria. And this poultry manure we applied. Then cow manure and poultry. Half cow manure, half poultry manure. Then cow manure alone. Then control. The control should be at least 50 feet. We put 60 feet away from the organic. It should be at least 50 feet. That's the rule. Then we take soil compaction and moisture readings whenever there's a hot spell, especially June, July. It's very hot in Mississippi. The temperature goes up to 100 degrees. So we wait for 2-3 weeks. Then we take the reading. You can see significantly a big difference because the mulch protect the soil, the moisture, and that gives the excellent readings. And the pruning also has been done right time. We don't prune like bunch grapes. They do it before Christmas, but here the Muscadine is recommended to do it after the severe freeze. We take core samples up to 100 centimeters deep because people are worried whether it is going to pollute the groundwater. And we use the AccuPower to take the leaf area index and percent canopy cover. This is for erosion prediction model. Also, we need the percent canopy cover. We use the Geneva double curtain system. This is the best system for producing more Muscadine grapes than any other system. Once it is established, see, this picture was taken, the Muscadine picture was taken at the time I started research in 2000. Now the plant is very big. And this is not taken later. You can see the organic plant supposed to produce 30-35 kilogram per plant. That is the national high average, but it produces very heavily. It even tried to broke the corner, we can see. This is another one, it's organic. Year after year, the yield goes high, especially the cow manure and poultry manure half, that gives high yield. But the poultry manure was giving trouble from the initial stage. The leaves turned to yellow, brown. I thought plant was going to die, so I just kept it there to see what is going to happen. Gradually, the poultry manure was picked up. So those are some of the areas the research had to be done. So this is not really just, this is good for wine and then jelly, fresh fruit, juice. It has an antioxidant according to the University of Mississippi Ole Miss in Oxford. It has an antioxidant that prevents breast cancer. Before that, the price of Muscadine was less than $2. Immediately after the news, it went up to $4 per. Yeah. And nutraceuticals. And Muscadine seed has more antioxidants than any other seed of any crop. And if you look here, we didn't see, this is the 2001 data. We didn't see much difference that time. That is the data of 2000 and 2001 average. But we didn't see much difference that time, especially the soil compaction. The control plot, you can see it is hard, but it makes the soil, the texture, it improves the texture very well. And this in 2001 and 2010, the last data we took last time, you see. And if you look at the poultry manure, the yield was low. The first, actually, if you look at the previous data, you see the poultry manure was very low. So okay, it's coming up. The poultry manure yield was very low. The canopy cover and the biomass development, but gradually the control was also, it was not significant at all in that. But when you come to the effect of treatments on fruit size, it was not significant. Everything is same size of fruits. And then comes to the effect of treatments on nitrate, nitrogen. This is one area everybody is looking for to see. And the NPK, but we noticed that the manures, they are not going deep into the system. They are holding. We noticed a thick layer, a strong concentration of even heavy metals, nitrogen, magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus on the surface layers, but it is inside the basin. And the yield per kilogram And you see, first time, this was the 2001 data, you can see the pine needle yield was, the poultry manure yield was very low. It was in the 3rd position, and the control was giving higher, control was higher. The NPK was higher than the poultry manure. But gradually, it changed. If you look at the organic matter content in 2001, almost same, but if you look at 2010, it gone high, going higher and higher. So here comes the information provided from the UN, from FAO. You can see it correlates with those information. The soil compaction also, the control plot is very hard. It cannot hold the water. With the stem diameter, we didn't see much difference. But the nitrates, if you look 2001 and 2010, you can see there is not much increase because this is the lowest layer. We have taken readings from 0 to 33, 33 to 66, then 66 to 100, the 3rd layer, to notice whether it is going into the groundwater. P concentration, the same thing, we noticed it is on the surface layers, we noticed a thick concentration. That is why we are advising farmers, make basins and put it. Don't put it just don't spray it on the surface of the soil. On yield, if you look at the yield at the beginning, the poultry manure was 3rd position. The first one comes cow manure and poultry manure together. It was high from the beginning. It continues to be high continuously. So when we mix the half poultry manure, half cow manure, the yield goes high. Why? We don't know. So those are some of the areas we had to find out. And the poultry manure was suffering. The plant was suffering under poultry manure first 2-3 years. The leaves turned to red, brown, different color. I thought it was going to kill the plant, but gradually it picked up. Now the poultry manure is giving. It is in the 2nd, you can see the 2nd position. And the cow manure gone to the 3rd position. In conclusion, the fruit analysis we did by the fruit technologist. I told him I'm going to send the fruits. He said, no, don't send the fruits. I don't want any bacteria in my lab. That is what he called and said. I said, no, you can do it. There's no problem. So he analyzed and he sent an email to me saying that he could not find any bacteria, nothing inside. But still, to make sure, he came all the way from Mississippi State University. It is 185 miles away from my university. He came and picked by himself to make sure he analyzed the same information. So that clearly shows that the USDA regulation on organic manure, it can be applied on farms carefully. But make sure you make basins and put it inside. Don't spray. Don't make it easy, and you pollute the system. Because if you spray on the field, your neighbors can sue you. Because 2 farmers approached me recently. They were sued by their neighbors. So I helped them because I'm a certified professional agronomist, so we are authorized to go to any court in the nation to testify. So they were released. There's no problem. So, but don't spray on the field. That will create trouble. And if you look at the poultry manure yield here, during transition, there was not much difference there, a high yield, and the poultry and cow manure mixture gave the highest yield, the transition time. But the NPK was still leading. But gradually it changed. The leaching of nitrogen and phosphorus in the subsurface layers was higher. Then here the 3rd one, there were no califorms, yeast, and molds. That is one thing people are looking for. So if you do it very carefully as the way I have shown, the organic farmers can do this method. And how we can bring down the price, if we use the animal waste and the plant waste, we can bring down the price of organic produce. That is what, this is the answer to the question we were discussing yesterday and day before yesterday. And this is the final conclusion. We have visitors from, not only from the US, even from other countries, whoever comes, they come to our area to see. We train them how to make their own mixture by utilizing the cow manure. Dry the cow manure, mix with the sand, and make their own mixture. So they can do the air layering to make their own plants from the vineyard. We give our vineyard for farmers. They come in June month. They make their own plants. After 2 months, we have a field day. They come and cut and take it. So they can take it. So this is a simple method using the Ziploc bag. For $1.50, you can get 100 Ziploc bags. It comes out with roots. No need to buy any peat moss. Use the cow manure or horse manure, sheep manure, any manure, but not poultry manure. You can make your own pot mix with the sands. The plants are ready. And this plant in the markets is $15 plus shipping. And you can make it very easily. they can have their own nurseries. We train the farmers. This is the month of June they come. So, and then the fruits are small in size, so they don't disturb the fruits. They do it very well. And when they come after 2 months for the field day, and you know, we bring the students, because the present generation, we notice that they don't touch fruits and vegetables. And the parents are not even forcing them. And you know, now the US has been pushed back to the third position. You know, formerly US was second. Now India, China is number 1 in food, vegetable production. India number 2, and US is the third. Because we are exporting, we are not eating. So we bring them and show them and tell them the importance of eating more fruits and vegetables. We give them fruits to take home to their school, even to their teachers, everything free. And we have a field day every August, last Thursday we have a very good field day. We give free fruits, free lunch. So it is there. So this is a comprehensive nutrient management booklet. You can write down the reference. It's a very good one. And you can get a lot of information and follow the regulation very strictly, and you can apply. Nobody will question you. Thank you very much.